In this video, we're going to take a Flet application that has been mounted as a FastAPI application and add additional functionality so that the Flet application can access the FastAPI functions directly as standard Python function calls. The starting point of the code is in the free course, Chapter 11, Flet FastAPI Architecture. And at this package, it has the Flet FastAPI example. Under the section where it says download completed chapter code, at the bottom, there's a download button. I'm going to press download. Okay, I've downloaded it. I've renamed the file to Flet FastAPI direct start zip. I'm going to unzip it, which is opening up as fast Flet 3. Okay. I'm going to do UV sync. It's using Flet 0.80.1. I'm going to activate the virtual environment source. Bin activate. Better run it. Started with Uvicorn. The name of the file, and it's the name of the function in that file. I'm going to do a control and click. It's opening up in the browser tab here. So it's a browser. You can get the data, and we're communicating with the FastAPI server. We're going to have to register the functions. So in the API folder, there's a route. So we're going to convert, or we're going to use the routes themselves as a standard Python function. But to do this, we're going to create a registry or dictionary of the routes. I'll call it registry.py. We'll use some typing. We'll create a new class. This one that we're creating called API registry. And in the initialization function of the class, the constructor will add a self.functions that we will specify as the type will be dictionary of string and callable. And I just remembered that from Python 3.9, we don't actually need to import the dict. So lowercase dictionary DICT. We still need to import the callable for the function. And initially, it will be empty. But we're going to populate it with the functions, as the function name being the key. So this is going to register the function into a dictionary called functions. So we're receiving the function, and the function has a name. So this is from Python. So we're receiving the function, so you just register, and it's the name of the function. Then we're going to extract the name of the function. The key will be the name of the function, and the value will be the actual function. We're going to set up a getter so that we don't mutate or change the dictionary when we use it. And we'll return a copy of the dictionary. We'll create a global registry entrant. API registry. We're going to instantiate the registry and reference it by a global reference here. We can now access this API registry. It's going to have the dictionary, the key being the name of the function, and the value being the actual function. Now in routes, we will register the actual function. We just created an API.registry right there. And it's the reference that we just created, API registry. So now we have the entire dictionary of functions right there. And we'll apply it to every function that we have that will return it. So this is now accessible from the registry as well too. We're going to access main.py and get access to the registry. So from API, right, name of that folder, dot registry, name of the file, import API registry, which is the reference that we just created. The main function, we're going to pass the registered API functions to the Flet app. So we'll create a new variable, API functions, which is accessible from the API registry.get, which is of the registry. And when we build the page, we'll pass it the API function. In the UI section, we have a bunch of handlers. I guess there's one right now. We'll create the handler for the different button presses. Use the callable again, the typing module. Create a new function here for the direct button press facing diff. throw event or receives API functions as a dictionary versus a string and seconds callable. So the name of the function is the key for the dictionary, and the value of the dictionary is the actual function. The name of our function is hello, and we're going to run it. It's hello right here on line 11. We will print the message test. We'll set up some exceptions here. So if there's no a function called hello, we will say it. If not, we will add to the page f string. We'll put the error here. And now we can start building the button in the components file. This one is HTTP, which is the existing one. Direct function. But our direct function has to get the dictionary. I'm going to import callable again. The dictionary will be of a string and a callable. Now return FD button. So we'll set up a click handler that is async. which will receive a control event from Flet. Okay, then we're going to call the direct button click handler here. Now we can return our button. Direct Python function as the button label. On click, we will run the handler. Great. On click handler, which we created. Oh, and there's an error. Put square brackets around the dictionary, key and value. Try it. Started the page. The control and click. And I need to send the build main page. API function. Which will be of type dictionary. Now square brackets, string callable, and should be a colon. We'll assume that it worked. Page.add. Create direct function button. We'll pass it the API functions. See if it works. Okay. Now there's two buttons producing the same data. Very good. Okay, let's review the downsides of this approach. There's tight coupling because we're accessing the functions directly. Where the function executes is not as clear as it is with HTTP. It's harder to test it. You can't really use the network failing as a way to debug your application. And there's no clear API contract. The front-end replacement is a bit harder, although we still have the API endpoint, so it's possible. Despite the downsides, there are some advantages. You have faster local calls. The performance is going to be slightly faster, which is not relevant for the educational projects, but may be relevant for a highly scalable production application. And there's shared Python objects. You don't have serialization of the data going back and forth. The key point is that you have to decide the architecture for yourself depending on what your goals are. And I think for most cases, the correct architecture choice will be to use HTTP as the communication between the front end and the back end, although there are many different options, as this lesson illustrates.
Join our 100% free course to get more lessons, slides, code examples. See you at industry-python.thinkific.com.